Broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services studio. Time for Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station, and I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it through that track. I'm glad you got out of bed this morning and made it to where you got to be. Steve Rummage in the building, Brian Hall in the booth.
I'm in the building. And there's a plethora to talk about, but before we get to any of that, Marcus, before we get to any football.
Turn up your volume, people.
Before we get to any Louisville Live talk.
I knew this was coming.
Recruiting talk.
I knew this was coming.
Should a coach stay? Should a coach go?
Oh, my goodness. I knew this was coming.
How's the team look?
Oh, man.
How about them Cowboys? Woo, woo, woo. Oh, they got it rolling. They got it rolling. Zeke doing this over 250 total yards. Dak Prescott got it going. And you know what? Do you know what I like to see? I like to see, oh, here comes, well, not the one time that he ran over Heath, but the other time, here comes Kerryon Johnson. And Leighton Vander Esch, bam, gets up, celebrates. I was like, that's why we drafted you, man. That's why we picked you, Boise State linebacker. Defense looked good. Everything looks good. The rest of the NFC East sucks. The Eagles suck. The Giants suck. The Redskins suck. The Cowboys are going to the playoffs, baby. And it all started yesterday. Shout out to the Detroit Lions. Y'all took that L with class and dignity.
With all that being said, wasn't it a great weekend of sports?
It's a good weekend.
I mean, listen, I didn't get every result I wanted. I didn't get everything I needed.
I know.
But I got everything sports.
Oh, perfect.
Listen.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Finish.
To those Cowboys.
And in all seriousness, I like to mess around, but I think it was a very well-played game by both teams. I thought yesterday, we both had a lot of reason to feel good.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't want to start the show with a predictable take.
Mm-hmm.
But you know me.
Yeah.
And they know me, and everybody listening knows me.
Right.
If you saw the Detroit Lions 2 weeks ago, when the Jets were running up and down, running back kickoffs, busting through 80-yarders. If you saw my Detroit Lions 21 to 14 days ago, it was you would have put $1 million that they don't win a football game.
Sure. I agree with that.
Fast forward 3 weeks later, they gave the Cowboys everything they wanted toe to toe in Jerry World.
Sure.
They made substitutions. Listen, they got the ball, 4 minutes to go, drove it down, scored to take the lead. Now, it was going to be impossible to keep the Cowboys at a field goal range. One good penalty. Come on, we've watched enough sports, like that was going to happen. But you made the plays to be in the game, and you're the Detroit Lions, and I saw so much improvement from the Lions. But that's gonna be where we talk about perspective.
Sure.
Yep. You stink it up the first two.
Yeah.
You like I said, you had that game in a winnable place.
Absolutely. And I think we like a lot of times to go in chronological order from the weekend before. Mm-hmm. But today, we're going to flip that.
I'm listening.
I think.
I'm listening. Where do you want to start, Steve?
Because I would love to start with Louisville Live, and I want to talk extensively about Louisville Live later. But I don't think that's where we're going to start today.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll pass the baton.
Okay.
So, Steve, if that's where you want to start, let me light the fire.
Okay.
First and foremost, I will say this. For all of you who think that the decision of Bobby Petrino to pass in that last drive was stupid, this is for you. If you think it was dumb, this is for you. Steve, up 2 minutes, field goal range, passing, right? You've heard it described. The word stupid is used in sports way too much.
Right.
It's a synonym for many things. You can say rushed. You can say panicked. You can say distract. There's a million words you can use. To me, that was arrogant. It wasn't any of the other words that anybody wants to use. It was arrogant enough to believe that he could get that done and finish the game with that first down. Right?
Okay.
I did not agree with it, but I've been on both sides of the kill shot.
Yeah.
I was in the stadium. I've heard people calling for the kill shot.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the last 3 weeks, Bobby used to insert said gamble play here, right? If Bobby would have came to me and said, Marcus, I think I'm gonna go for the pass right here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have said, Bobby, if you fail, you do know what they're gonna do to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go do it.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been the last motivational. I wouldn't have told him, don't do it. I said, I hired you to do a job.
Yeah.
You know the consequences.
Yes.
He knew the consequences. He's gonna have to deal with the consequences moving forward. And it was the arrogance that we've seen in big moments and big plays that have made him such a threat as a coach for the last 20 years. Damn.
Yeah.
Right? Out of all that okay, but that was my addressing the play. Now go back to the game.
Okay. Do you want to start with the game then?
Yes. Go straight back to the game.
Okay.
I didn't want to forget that point because that was the Monday morning quick point.
Okay. Well, then let's start with the game itself. The game itself.
8150 939 is the number. 3831 939 is the text line. Listen, you say it. You say I should call in. I want to call in. I want to give them a piece of my mind. You do it. You have the number. You have the text line.
Yeah. The game itself, I was pretty pleased, actually.
You're not allowed to say that, Steve.
Well, no, we're talking about the game itself, okay?
No,
the game
no,
as
Steve, I'm telling you.
We'll get to the nitty-gritty stuff
You're gonna lose your job.
The game itself, I thought.
You can't just say that blanket statement, Steve. Tell me what you thought about the game itself that you were pretty pleased.
After going back and watching the game, I was much more pleased with Juwan Pass than I was on Saturday. Because I'm a very emotional guy watching the game. If you guys, if you know me or if you see me down there in the fourth quarter, I always go watch the game from the field.
Don't talk to him.
If you see me down there, you see that I'm a very emotional human being. Mark Blankenbaker's the same way. I like I said, I can watch a game with Mark. After going back and watching the game, I was more pleased with Juwan Pass than I was Saturday because I thought Juwan Pass Saturday, I think you watched him grow. You kept saying it. At the beginning of the game, he was comfortable. Then they started to blitz. He started to throw off his back foot. He started to rush throws.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, he started to stand in there.
Right.
And he started to take the shot.
Right.
And he took a lot of shots.
Right.
And 2 of those deep balls, he took big-time shots. Now, Juwan, you've got to learn to get that deep post route down.
Can I get you to pause right there?
Oh, yeah. There's no real structure today.
Yeah, let's work through this one.
Mm-hmm.
When you say he went from choppy feet uncomfortable feet,
Yeah.
looking at the blitz,
Right.
to standing in there taking shots.
Mm-hmm.
When a coach tells you you're going to have to stand in there and take that shot, would you agree that he didn't decide that on his own? Would you agree that someone told him, you have antsy feet, you're going to have to stay in there and deliver that football?
Absolutely.
So you saw a antsy
Mm-hmm.
to someone standing in there and taking a shot. And when you take a shot in your chin as you're releasing the ball, that's what sends you back to antsy. Very next play or 2 plays later, you sit in there, you take that same shot to deliver that same ball. Look at that. See, now, boos, the spectator boos, the coaches, the players, the particulars, you say, way to stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
Way to stay in there, look down that barrel. I saw progress on that.
I did too. I think Juwan's the guy. I think Juwan's the guy going forward. So I'm kind of going through a little bit here because there's like, bear with us today because there's so much to get to.
Right. See, that's why I wanted to just take your time and get these opinions square.
The other thing, Hassan Hall. I think you found a guy who you can ride with. I still like Dave Williams. I still like Colin Wilson. Both were out. Both didn't. They were out of the game, so they didn't even play.
If Hassan Hall was some 5-star we heard about and came here, you would have said, "Yep,
he's living up to the hype." That's what I would feel like.
He's awesome.
Yeah. I like his game a lot, man. I think
Shot out of a cannon.
Yes, I think he's becoming. Trey Smith, actually, I thought, and I've not been critical of Trey Smith, but I've kind of been like, he's okay. I thought he played really well though, Saturday. But I really think Hassan Hall has separated himself out a little bit as my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he started the game. I think you're starting to find that he may be the guy going forward. What?
Don't just dance over the fact that we sat in here all last week and said you got to go with the young Lions.
Right. No, exactly. And I think you saw that. I think you saw him making plays. I think you saw Marcus Riley early stand in there, take a shot.
That was huge.
Yeah.
He ran the play. I don't know what the medical. Have you heard anything
I
medically?
haven't heard.
When I saw Marcus Riley take that shot and come off, I'm thinking his rib are broken or something. But I'm saying, once that young dude came in there, took that shot, came over the sideline, held on to the ball. Now Juwan's confident.
Yep.
Now the other receivers feel like they're responsible. That's the kind of plays that make other players start catching the ball, but it's sparked out from one of the young Lions.
I think I'm kind of making my way around.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll make our way around, and we will get to the staff.
Yes.
Eventually. Okay.
Yeah. It's okay. We can talk about the game.
Yeah. I think the tight ends. I think you watched Kamari Averett. I thought this was an interesting progression. I watched Kamari Averett come out, have the same old drop pass. Mickey Crum come in, play well. I saw Juwan go back to Kamari Averett, and the ball kind of bounces off his hand a little bit.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not dropping this football, and he takes it in.
You could tell the early Kamari Averett is looking to make a move or wondering where the hit's coming from.
Yep.
That look over the shoulder, take your eyes off the ball. You saw when he had that fumble, when he fumbled the football and caught it, you saw him make a conscious effort to say there's nothing more important than this football right here.
Yes.
That was progression.
So I thought the tight ends overall had a pretty good game.
You ran a couple shovel passes. They made sure
I like that. Yeah. It worked. It worked big time once. I think you did it a couple more times to keep them on their toes, which was okay. Didn't get as much out of that the next few times. But receivers. Des Fitzpatrick started getting more looks. I thought that was a good thing.
To other spots too.
Yes, and I thought that was a good thing. And I think in turn, you saw Tutu Atwell started to get a lot more looks, what we called for. And in turn, all of a sudden, Jalen Smith looked like he could play again. And that's what tends to happen when the ball starts getting spread around. I was pleased with their play. The O-line, thought they did pretty good. Yeah, thought they did pretty good. I thought Florida State did a good job at dialing up a few packages that they got to the quarterback.
The difference with that O-line is if Puma Pass is a little bit more of an experienced of a quarterback, and he gets that ball off a half a second early. You know what they're saying? Great protection.
Yeah.
Great protection. That extra half a second, full second that Puma's not getting rid of the ball costs the offensive line a look. Yeah, sometimes Florida State defensive line is going to get to the quarterback, people. Like, that's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah.
But they didn't really just bombard them.
No, I thought that Louisville did well in that aspect. I thought, now we got to do this too. I thought the game was called, play calling wise, in such a way you should have won that game 42 to
right,
20.
Right.
That should have been a blowout.
Right.
You blew Florida State out. I feel like you outplayed them.
Okay, think about this. You're going spot by spot, right?
Yeah.
You've given everybody at least a B grade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep going.
I feel that way. I'm not going to do position by position defensively as much as I'm just going to do a whole.
Yeah, defensive.
Thought the defense was good. Thought they were really good, man. I mean,
they flew around. They wrapped up on tackles. It wasn't broken
Where was
tackles.
Seth Dawkins? I've seen that twice. Real quick, let me address that. I've seen that twice on the text line. That's a good question. He has kind of disappeared a touch. So I don't know. I've tried to make the excuse they're just not throwing it to him deep. I thought Saturday they were moving the ball around, so I just didn't see a lot of him.
Right.
But yeah, no, defensively, I thought that. I mean, there was many times Florida State would come in, get a drive, wouldn't move the ball.
Listen, you had Cam Akers on sweeps.
Yeah.
One man out there to make the tackle. He's making the sure tackle. Our we have knots in our throats when we see one-on-one plays to make the tackle.
Yeah.
We saw the defense make the tackle. Maybe they squeeze an extra yard or two out of it because they're awesome players, like individual players. But for the most part, did you see a missed tackle and a big run the entire time?
I mean, the last touchdown.
Oh.
I hate to say that, but yeah,
that's a perfect point.
Yeah,
But you're supposed to be up 42-20 at that time.
Right. That's kind of the problem. Now let me go a step further. I thought the best unit on the field was the special teams the other day.
And then you got the special teams.
I mean, I thought the special teams. I thought you did well in return game. I thought you did well. The punting game.
We got a bad call on the special teams. We got actually two bad calls. Like those were huge bad calls.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Those are calls that can be, if somebody turns their back at the last second, we saw the replays. Those weren't blocking the back and discipline plays. Those were bad calls.
And you stepped in. I mean, I think you knocked down maybe a 42-yarder. I mean, when you needed to. I thought the special teams did. Like I said, I think special teams, for me, I grade the special teams in A. I thought that they were the best unit of everybody.
They did the right returns when they were supposed to. They did the right things on special teams. No bonehead mistakes. They got on the football. When it hits the Florida State player in the head, they jump on it. On the kickoff, the little squib short kick.
Mm-hmm.
Special teams was awesome.
They were. The squib was kind of I thought it was worth a try because they almost got on a kickoff.
Right.
That was, they dang near. I mean, we're talking a yard away from recovering a kickoff that you kicked down the field.
Because they caught them either off guard or they didn't know what to do.
So I thought the squib try was good. Kudos to Florida State. They were ready.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was a good play, I thought. I thought special teams were great. So
we went quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, defense entirety, special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, if you disagree, text it in.
Yeah, and we'll go to the phone lines in a second. I mean, please disagree today
and
if you feel that way.
And we're on YouTube right now. We are made for the Ville. You can kind of get a good feel for arguing with us in real tube. We are made for the Ville. should I just get to these, or you want to keep on?
No, I think let's go ahead and go to the phone lines because that will probably get us into because I think we just needed to, before we even have any staff, any macro conversation, I think we need to at least acknowledge
the game happened.
The game.
There was an actual game being played.
Yeah. 4
quarters. Let me look at the longest one. And that would be David. Thanks for joining us on the X Gordon Collision Center Hotline, my man. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Marcus. I just want to talk about football a little bit. Just the demeanor of Petrino a little bit, but that's just another case. But I wanted to kind of say that we should have probably ran the ball at 3rd and 2 or whatever was in the red zone.
Right.
Another point is that it's another teaching tool is that I know the players ought to know this, but during when you have a situation in the football game where there's going to be a 2-minute drill and you might have a panic situation where there's 2 minutes left in the game or what's running out of bounds. And when we got a clock, so even though we should have been up in the red zone 2 or 3 times and we should have scored probably, but the players was running out of bounds and stopping the clock at the end of the game. They should have been not running out of bounds, stopping the clock. They should have been kind of falling down or get tackled in bounds or something of that nature.
Yep.
And time would have been off the clock. That's something the young men ought to know. But there's another way is a teaching tool for that to also during the game time decision. That's part of game planning. Sometime during practice, during the season or whatever, because that's something you got to put into the young man's head. But yeah, as far as overall, I like the way the game kind of went. You know what I'm saying? But some of the calls and things like that, spreading the ball around was wonderful. That's very great with that being made. But some of the decisions right there at the end, I mean, we're looking at a guy that really, really is an awesome coach. I just don't know what's going on. You know, I think there's some type of rift going on, coaching players or something that everybody's not on the same page, you know. So with that being said, man, just for the rest of the season, we just got to bear with it and grin and just stay behind our team. You know, a lot of decisions, there's something going on. So thank you very much.
David, I appreciate the call. I kind of hesitated. I wanted to let him keep going, but I was going to ask him, where did you think the coaches weren't on the same page? Speak for David. What do you think? If David was still online, what would you think David would say? Where were the coaches not on the same page in this game?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have an answer for that.
I do.
Okay.
They weren't on the same page because Bobby Petrino did not trust Van Gordon on the defensive end to just go there and kick the field goal. Bobby Petrino is more confident in himself than anybody on the planet.
That could be fair.
That's where you're not on the same page. I know Coach Van Gordon was like, you will run that ball and my team will make a play. I've been making plays all day. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was evident in the post-game press conference because I was not, and me and you spoke about this.
Yes.
You kind of brought it to my attention even more so.
Oh, yeah, because I was fuming.
I was not a fan. That's one thing I will, and I will praise and be angry, and we'll talk some very uncomfortable talk here in a little bit too.
Right.
But I think the comment, and hopefully Bobby kind of today at the press conference.
I hope he cleans that up.
Yeah, cleans that up because the comment almost came off like, well, the defense gave up a couple big plays at the end. And it was like, wait a minute.
You leave that out. Yeah, you leave that out of. Listen,
defense played good, man.
We've seen you take all the pressure off the kids. You know, we've seen you take.
Bobby's great at that.
Yeah,
he will not throw a kid under the bus.
But I will say this, like I said, I will. If he was my dad or my brother or anybody, I would say, dude, did you really just bring up the defense giving up 3 plays the entire game? Yeah, they held that team. They were supposed to be. They were supposed to be working with a 35-point cushion.
I know.
You know that.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah. Yeah, you got, and while I know he would not throw Juwan under the bus either.
Right.
You would have been, I could have lived with, well, we dialed up a few big plays and just missed them.
Right.
So that way, at least then, because I could say, well, that's the truth.
Right.
The defense.
The defense and those couple of plays that they gave up had.
Did D. Smith miss the tackle at the end? Yes, he did. Did D. Smith also absolutely bring the thunder about 4 times in that game that made everybody go,
Who
oh.
caught him on it? Was that D that caught him on the sideline?
Yes. So, like.
That was the hardest hit you've seen all season on that sideline.
Yeah, like, so.
Listen,
timeout.
that hit on the sideline said Louisville's ready to go.
That did. When D. Smith, when I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Akers, but somebody, he was kind of tiptoeing the sideline, like, I'm going to get a couple extra yards, and D. Smith just, bam! You were like, hang on.
So, yeah.
So next time, better step out.
So, yeah. So, David, like I said.
So I was not a fan of that, so I'll agree with you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's not okay. That was. But again, when you're just in feisty post-game mode, I can see how that comes out because that did slip into your brain. You know, okay, I messed up this one, bail me out. Like we get it. Bobby's confident. He thinks his offense is, you have to be that way, though. You can't just let the defense win all the time. Like you don't get to where he is. I mean, granted, it's still the wrong decision, and you've been running the ball, and they couldn't stop you, right?
Yeah.
And we'll go back to more of Bobby Petrino. To me, kind of the arrogance, and by the end of the show, it'll probably be confidence. But right now, I'm like, that's an arrogant play. I don't know how bad of an arrogant that is, though. But we'll move forward. We'll definitely get to that part of it. Who is this? We got. Is this Big Al?
Yeah, man.
My fault. Thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
You good, man. I listen, first time caller, man. Thanks for taking my call. Just
Appreciate
real quick, man.
You cutting out? Wait, you were cutting out a little bit. We'll try one more time. I'm listening.
Sorry about that.
Fire away.
Played a great game. So, the team played a great game. Bobby's play calling looked good. The defense looked good. The team looked good. And
We got. Damn, we got to bail on that one, man. We couldn't hear you at all.
Call back. We'll get you right.
Yeah, we'll
back.
make sure you get right to the front. Call back on that. Oh, it's our guy, Paul from Seattle. Thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
What's going on, guys? It's been a while. Took a little vacation, but I'm back.
We thought you were mad at us.
No. I was on paternity leave, actually. So I encourage all guys out there to take their parental leave.
Yes. Agreed.
Either way, so it wasn't vacation. It was parental leave. There's a difference between vacation and parental leave.
Fair.
Couple points. I think I counted at least 21 points that we dropped off the board with wide open misses. I mean, there was, I think Tutu Atwell was running right up the gut, wide open, and just Juwan just didn't make that pass. I mean, and there was another one to Jalen, I think, and I counted at least 21 points where we should have had that were just wide open throws that Juwan just didn't make. So you can't blame the coaches for that. I mean, the players got to play at the end of the day. And second, I'm kind of looking at through the schedule right now. I mean, I think as a fan base, we kind of have to tailor our expectations of what we expect this year. Maybe we use this year as it's a good time to rebuild, work on things for next year. Because, I mean, we got 3 more games against ranked teams. Kentucky is amazing this year on the way they're playing. NC State's ranked. They always tough. We're not going to win in Clemson. I mean, nobody wins there.
It's fair.
And I think even Syracuse, I saw the Syracuse-Clemson game. Syracuse looked good. I mean, they should have beaten Clemson.
Yeah.
So do we have 4 wins to even get to a bowl?
Here's the thing, Paul. Listen, I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Paul. Why did we say – listen, feel free to disagree. Steve.
Yeah.
Coming into this game, guy who wanted to say if Louisville's in panic mode, if they lose to a crappy Florida State, then they're really crappy, right?
Yeah.
You said it, I said it, or we heard it enough. Why did we consider Florida State crappy? Because they lost to Syracuse. When Florida State lost to Syracuse, we officially said, oh, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The same Syracuse that just gave Clemson everything they want.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But we said Florida State's not good because Syracuse beat them.
Yeah.
You have plenty of opportunity moving forward to show that you can coach. Or your team has plenty of opportunity to show you're a representative team.
Yeah.
And it can be derailed in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to make sure you understood, like, what you see from week to week. If your team gets better, be careful. Be careful. Be careful by saying you know how the rest of the season is going to go, because you don't. it still has two directions.
Sure.
From here.
But I think what Paul said, I think there's a lot of fairness in that, though. I think you say looking ahead. I think they win Friday. We'll talk about that later in the week. You know, I think you beat Wake. I can get where Paul's saying, though. I'm looking down the schedule, and I'm going, I don't know if they're going to win this one. They'll beat Kentucky at the end of the year.
Wayne, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Marcus and Steve. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. I am happy and sad and mad.
Ditto.
Fair.
Happy because Friday was wonderful. And Marcus, you was clowning Friday night with that white hat on.
You didn't.
Oh, you.
You didn't like the white hat?
Man, who else had on a white hat but you?
I had white pants on too, by the way.
I know it.
Yeah.
I saw you, man. I told Brian, I said, Marcus was out there clowning. But Friday was wonderful. That must continue. And the thing that I liked about it, man, when Malik Williams, he walked right there, I hollered at him. He is huge.
He's huge. We talked about it too.
I mean, and they all are big, man. I like that. So that's going to bode well for them because they're going to play that hard-nosed defense, which is good. And then Saturday, the sad part, I played back in the day. One thing you never, ever do. There's no need to pass unless necessary.
Wait. Here we are all deep into this football talk, and you just derailed us all into the basketball stuff.
Well, I gotta speak on all of it, Marcus. You know me.
Right.
I'm gonna speak on all of it. But I'm not giving up on them. They still can make something out of the season, but it's up to them. It's up to them. And one thing and you play, when you got the lead, you run out the clock. That's what you do.
Yeah, everybody knows that. I mean,
everybody knows that. But anyway, and one other thing, I liked the flag waving Friday night, the Irish flag.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping. I'm always checking. I don't know if Aiden is gonna go to that blue mess, whatever that mess is. If he don't go to that, even if he does go, I still think we got it because he can't take it. That's what he wanted to do.
Right.
But we're gonna see. But as always, guys, you know what I think about y'all.
Appreciate the call. I mean, listen, we can't talk about that part of it. I mean,
yeah,
the football. Listen, everybody agrees you should run the ball in that play, but
But let me give this caveat. The play before, it's third down, 3rd and 5.
Mm-hmm.
What'd they run?
Pass.
Hit Mickey Crum. Goes for about 12 yards, and we all went.
That's Bobby.
Yay!
Listen, 3rd and 5. That's the Bobby. That's the
Get
Bobby.
him, baby!
Get him, Bobby.
Mickey Crum ran right in front of me. I was standing right there, and I was like, yes! That's how you beat it.
That's Bobby ball.
So in the same breath, I'm like, yeah, in hindsight, run it. But what if on 3rd and 5, you run it, get stuck, kick a field goal, get scored on, lose by 1, and we all go. His conservative rear end got down. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's exactly how it happens every time.
Yeah. So
Juwan passed those to Jalen Smith for the hitch route wide open. Jalen Smith was perplexed. It was wide open. Bobby made the right call. In theory, it was not executed. The safe call was to run the ball. The smart, closer to the win, is running that ball. And Bobby still has those jitters about his running backs fumbling too.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm not saying any heat should necessarily be taken off.
He gets all the heat.
Yeah, so I'm not being that guy. I'm like, well, hang on now. We should, but I'm like, let's also remember
and let's
that.
say the reason I let him give the heat is because he knows the risk every time he calls a third and short pass play.
Yeah.
He knows what that is.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's cool. You screwed up. You know you screwed up. We know you screwed up. It's fine. David, thanks for joining us on the Scoring Collision Center Hotline, my man. What's on your mind?
Hey, I want to say that blaming Bobby ain't 100% on that one call where he threw that interception at the end of the game because he threw it right to him. You got to throw it to our receiver, not the defensive player, and try to blame Bobby for that.
Listen, it was a bad read when he had his main guy on the end who he was supposed to throw it to wide open.
Yeah. Everybody wants to blame Bobby for it. He threw that pass.
No, listen, David. I appreciate the call. It's a risk. It was a risky call, but he made some throws to make you comfortable over the course of the game. Steve, what was he in the first half? What was that? 17 for 26.
Pass was 17 for 26.
How many first downs?
14 first downs.
14 first downs and a half.
91 yards and 2 touchdowns
in the first half.
And he had the rushing touchdown. So
and we said this. We said Jawan Pass is a couple of games behind where we thought he'd be.
Yeah.
This team's development is a couple. If they had been playing like this at the beginning of the year, and this is just minor improvements.
Yeah.
If they had been playing like this 2 games earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be 4-1 like you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kevin, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
What's up, man? You know I'm the old pump the brakes guy. We must have watched a different game because I could have sworn that we did play action and got the first down with Mickey Crumb, and the very next play we threw it on first down for an interception. That wasn't a third down pass.
We did. That's what we're saying. No, the Mickey Crumb play was a third down though.
Yeah, that was cool. But we come right back with the pass.
Yeah, on the next
play. That should have never happened. But you know what? Since it's Redemption Monday and everybody's getting props for stepping up, has been has been getting delayed and having some shortcomings. Y'all had mentioned Trey Smith. He was gashing them. And I think we could have got a first down if we'd have kept running that man because that's what I liked about him. The limited time he played last year that he ran hard and he was running hard Saturday. He was getting through there. I mean, 8-10 yard runs and stuff like that. And but my problem is I don't have a problem. Okay, sure, Petrino made a mistake. They're gonna learn from it. And people was gonna say, "Oh man, he needs to go this and that." But at the same time, you can't talk about the man that forgot how to coach, and then in another breath, fans are talking about these wide open guys and stuff. Give the man credit for calling the plays and springing these guys wide open. We can work on the timing and the passing. Look for the positive in that. But
you know what? You know what happens with that, Kevin? We see a guy wide open and we think they're open because they're talented. Not necessarily because of the play call.
Right. Hey, let me say one more thing, man. And this is more serious than anything. Everybody wants to complain about the players and complain about the coach. They need to complain about themselves. I got a concern with the fan base going forward that the newness of the ACCC,
right.
The ACC is worn off, you know what I'm saying, like a new toy. Ain't no way in the world that you complain about the weather. You got perfect weather. You complain about 12 o'clock games. Man, they go to playing at 12 o'clock. You complain about the opponent. You get a recent national champion, staple of the league on 3:30 on a Saturday, and the place ain't packed. I was mad, man, because I got up Friday morning and I was on the road. So, I had to get up earlier than that. I was on the road at 4:45 a.m. coming Friday because I wanted to get down, get a haircut, take some batting practice, and then try to make Louisville live and hit a class reunion. So I get on the road at 4:45 my time on Friday. Get there, I'm thinking it's gonna be jumping Saturday, and I see all these pink seats and stuff. It was.
Oh, Kevin, stop taking shots at us, man. Don't leave my pink seats alone.
No, I'm saying the thing about the pink seats, my theory on that. If you don't want to see pink seats, put some butts in them. That's my point. And I the fans need to look at themselves. And if you call on the radio, if I was the engineer of y'all show, I was like, I screen the calls. Like, what are you gonna talk about? Man, I'm talking about Bobby. He ain't this. Team ain't this and that. Where do you live?
I live in Louisville. Were you at the game? No. Click. You don't even get through.
No.
You don't even get through.
No, Kevin, listen, I appreciate the call.
I thought the atmosphere was. Oh, I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good, but you know what else we learned? You know what else we learned? You know what made Kevin uncomfortable? Not the lack of attendance of Louisville.
Yeah.
He was uncomfortable with how many Florida State fans were in there and how loud they were.
Yeah.
And see, Kevin got reminded, just like Louisville got reminded,
Florida State.
that Florida State is Florida State.
Yes.
And they don't care if they're 1 and 5. Florida State's still bringing their 7,000-8,000.
I stopped a couple walking around. I was walking around the back of the stadium once I got there, and there was a couple was walking. They had Florida State gear on, and I like to talk to other. And I was like, I said, what do you think today, man? You know, and he's like, man, I think he's like, man, we got this guy. He starts naming off. He's like, they'll get it together. You know, he's like, they're gonna get it together, and I'm like, and he was being very, polite about Louisville and different stuff, but he was talking about Florida State. He was like, they'll get it together. You know, next year come in, you'll be top 15.
Right.
Right.
Listen, and in the same turn, it's like, that team. Just a reminder before I go back to the phone lines, that whole team you saw out there was like 70% underclassmen.
Yeah, but
accounted for the biggest plays in the yards.
But the thing is, you know what he says back to me?
What's that?
A lot like you guys. And I'm like,
give me some dap. Did you just dap him up right there?
You're equals.
Right. You're equals to Florida State. Big Mike, thanks for joining us on 939. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Ron? What's up, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Man, first I want to, guys, I got to preference my little comments on my call by saying, of course, we all know we all want to win. We all play the game to win. So we know that. Now that's out of the way.
That's fair.
Just recall how we played against Western, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a win. Imagine a win. Now, I would much rather play like we played against Florida State in a loss than get a victory with no in the Western game. Okay, and I also, would like to say, when did us as a football program get exempt from any sort of growing pains? Like, and when did our coaching staff get exempt from making errors? And when are we so, top tier in football to where we can't have no drop-offs or have young players that make young mistakes and coaches trying to deal with maturity? This game was the first game I think I've seen all year where an offensive player made a play as far as outside the wide receiver and showed emotion. I mean, literally was proud of what they was doing and actually showing emotion. And on defense, that's stunning. Mark my word, this team right here, by next year, rolling because they're young. And like you said, those players is wide open. It's a matter of time for they hitting them. It's a matter of time for Juwan to hit them. Look at Lamar. Go back to Auburn. When he gets in the game and throw the stupid interception, this is the first play when he got in. I mean, why is Juwan Pass exempt from those type of mistakes? Why can't he do that? And why can't Bobby live and learn with this? You know what I'm saying? Why give up his coach? But you think somebody new gonna come on this campus and have no growing pains with this? He's gonna set us back major because he's got to get to know these players. He's got to get them learned into his system, get his new players in. When Bobby's they just down here, I'm sorry, I just get frustrated with our fan base because they think we exempt from these growing pains. Man, we're good, man. We're in it. New competition. We're getting better, man. They just need to. And I hate to keep saying it, but let the cake bake, guys. That's all I gotta say, man. L1C4.
Mike, I appreciate the call. Listen, let's separate anger and frustration. That stuff is good. The anger and the frustration and the passion from losing a game is awesome.
Sure.
But I think just the only problem is the disagreement on what is trending. What is getting better? You know what I'm saying? Are you okay with the idea of time? I mean, the reason most people aren't rich by now is because they didn't want to take the time to say interest matters.
Sure.
The reason we're all in debt because you didn't think about how much interest was gonna matter. Like the long-term game plan has to play out, and you would have to admit that if you watch this Florida State game, you were clicking on a lot of cylinders, and the places you didn't click, you saw why they didn't click. You saw Lamar having or Jawan learning to sit in the pocket a little better. You saw Bobby learning he has to run the ball a little more with Hassan Hall. You saw him. He's getting to know his team too. He's getting to realize I need Des Fitzpatrick on all big plays. You know,
they're young. Look at the guys that made the plays.
Yeah,
Juwan, sophomore. You know, Hassan, freshman. Des Fitzpatrick, sophomore.
I got to learn. Don't lead Des Fitzpatrick. Throw it high and let him go get it.
Yeah.
I got to learn to lead Jalen Smith. You know, like I got to learn, you know, Tutu Atwell, just softly get the ball in his hands and let him go to work. Like, you got to learn all that stuff. I'm mad too. But I don't think Jawan can't quarterback because he's not, you know, a seasoned quarterback. Yeah. I don't think Bobby can't coach because he made a bad decision. He made a gamble late game. The same, you know, like I can separate my anger from the loss of the game to the process. Joe, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away, my man.
What's up, Marcus and Steve? Yeah, man, I mean, to me, it's like Groundhog Day to me. To me, the biggest thing, and it's not about, you know, the caller before talking about what can we accept as a fan base. I don't think we're asking all this, you know, big-time, you know, deal where we can't step back and grow a team. I mean, I don't know where this is coming from with people saying that. What I look at when I watch these games this year, even going into next year, is coaching. The coaching's terrible, man. I mean, that's all you could say this, Marcus, and say, hey, well, he called the plays. I get all that. But to me, I go back to Western Kentucky. This guy is going for it on fourth down. He goes over down to the goal line. He goes to go to his card to talk about a 2-point conversion. You get down. I feel bad for those kids because that coach cost those kids a win on Saturday. That coach cost them a win. How many timeouts did Louisville have for that play, that first down play on the 19-yard line with 2 minutes to go? How many timeouts did Louisville have left? Probably all 3 of them. So, if anything, that's a big time in the game. If you're really going to make a gutsy or call a timeout, you tell your quarterback, look, we're going to call this pass. If anybody's in that vicinity and in that area, just check it down or throw it out of bounds or keep the ball.
But a timeout also gives the defense time to prepare and drop things too. So
the bottom line is, though, Marcus, you should have never even called a pass. You run the ball, like you said. We all know he made a mistake. But I just go back to the whole thing, and then you go back to the press conference. The defense gave up a couple of big plays. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
This guy lost his mind, dude.
So you think it was bad coaching the entire game?
I just think this guy, when the game is on the line, he's making $4 million a year. You run the ball, kick the field goal, and give those kids a win on Saturday. That's what I think. And that's been done. And for something this season, what I've seen all season is something's amiss, dude, when this guy's making calls. Like he's having brain farts in his mind during the game. This guy cost these kids a W they absolutely deserved on Saturday.
So they did play good. I appreciate the call, Joe. I mean, listen, I know what you're saying. It's a bad play call late. Their plays were there to get them in that position. I thought we all kind of eventually agreed that the game was pretty well played outside the misfires. We don't blame Bobby for the misfires of a Jawan pass missing his guy. Did we agree that was a growth thing?
Yeah, no, we did. I'm not.
And when the argument says $4 million, when you bring in
that you lose me there.
Yep.
Because for me, what he makes is irrelevant. He's not even one of the top. I mean, he makes $4 million. He's not even a top 10 paid coach in America.
Every time somebody brings in money, the reason you lose me is because market value is market value. Yeah. Whatever job you do, there's somebody who makes less money than you, and they say, well, if you have to mow 10 lawns, like you're getting paid, $30,000, but see, you know what, Steve? Nobody at their job thinks, oh, I make all this money, I shouldn't make mistakes.
Right.
And like I said, 4 million, 20 million. College football makes $1 billion a year.
Yeah, that argument.
Listen, but you know what they don't do? They say $4 million like this some big huge number, right? And then when they want them out of here, they say, oh man, pay the $14 million. Pay the $14 million just to see him go away.
Yeah.
So $14 million is nothing when you want him gone.
Yeah.
But $4 million is the justification every single time for him to must be perfect because he makes $4 million. That's market value. Todd, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, Marcus. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
It was good seeing you down there at the Louisville Live, man. It really was.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, first of all, let me get started by saying there were some positives from the football game. We were using Crum. We were using our tight ends. We were running the ball. By the way, Marcus, I'm watching you on YouTube right now, so thanks for doing that.
I'm here. No, I love it.
All right, but I told Eric when our linebacker missed the interception, I told him, I said, watch the very next play. I said, when you miss opportunities, usually the next play makes you pay. And sure enough, the very next play was when FSU got that TD, when they got the touchdown. And I never thought I would say it at this point in the season, but I'm not looking forward to playing UK in football. And the last thing I want to say is this, Marcus, what were you doing sitting on a dunk judge panel with Griff and LeBradford, and of course they're in the top 6 dunks up there, right?
Right.
I didn't see you there. Didn't see Trev. Didn't see T-Will. But what in the world was you doing sitting there with them two fine dunkers?
Right.
You being the judge of that.
Right. Listen. Can you believe? I appreciate the call, Todd. Can you believe somebody thought me valuable enough to be with the legendary Darrell Griffith and the legendary LeBradford? I mean, my God.
I thought you was fair. I actually thought you was fair. I thought you was going to be like, oh, yeah, Marcus thinks nobody can dunk, so everybody gets 4s.
Oh, I should have did it.
But no, you was fair.
I should have gave all.
Yeah, I thought you was.
I should have gave 2s and 3s. But listen, no, I was impressed. That's why.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I know how hard it is. Here's the problem, Steve, and I'll just say this before I go to the lines. When you only have a runway of the 3-point line to the basket, anybody who criticizes their lack of dunks doesn't realize this is not you need more than 5 steps to do dunks.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of room to work with.
That was my big criticism of the entire event. There were cheerleaders sitting around with the leg. The team barely had enough the team had to move out the way just to get some bit of running room.
I know. That was fair.
That's it.
You did good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Their microphones were too low.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to yell up there either. Did they have me up on the judges panel with Griffin, the Bradford Smith?
Yeah, I mean, you belong there.
What?
Good, yeah.
What? Steve?
No,
we're on air. People heard that.
No, dunker. I'm not saying you're as good as them. I mean, as far as dunking, goodness gracious.
Slow down,
yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Eric, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
Hey, guys. I just wanted to call up and talk about this football game with Steve. First of all, it was nice seeing you out at Louisville Live at Sports and Social Club the other day. That was awesome, and seeing Louisville Live was just great.
Yes, sir.
But as far as this football game was concerned, I understand, it's kind of like the, clarification you got to make. W's are what you want. I understand that, and that's why we're not happy. But if you can sit there and throw the win-loss thing out for a second and look at that game and tell me that besides 3 plays on the defense where they gave up those big plays and then the one bad call play by Bobby, that was not the best this team has looked all year. And with as young as this team is, what I'm afraid of is that if you bring in someone next year, say this is like a bridge type year, and then you bring someone in and you get rid of Bobby next year, and you got all this talent on the team, they got to learn a new system, they got to learn all this stuff. If Juwan learns how to hit those wide open receivers for touchdowns at the end of the game, gets more consistent passing that way, the defense, the DBs are really the only thing that I think needs to get better for our defense to really be real good. And so if your DBs are getting better, you have all this stuff. I'm seeing the ability that the team has and with the youth that it has to come back next season with this same staff, with the way they played yesterday. I granted it was Florida State, but the way they played yesterday showed me that the future would be bright going forward. Now, maybe people think I'm off base with that just because we lost. But as far as I'm concerned, I looked at that game and said, going forward, this team can get even better than it did and play even better than it did, and we could have a real shot to be very good. So I just wondered what you all thought about that, guys. Love the show. Go Cards.
Eric, I
man.
appreciate the call. Here's the thing, man, and I'll just say this. Out of all the weekend, right?
Yeah.
I had one horrible moment.
Okay.
No, people, that horrible moment was not the moment that interception happened. Out of all of my weekend, you listen, the Cowboys hit the field goal to beat the Lions.
Sure.
Out of all my weekend, you know what the worst moment, the most frustrating moment of my entire weekend was? When I woke up the next morning on Sunday morning and I had a text message from my dad. And this text message, just to give you the run up. I talked to my dad Saturday morning. I said, "Yeah, we got Florida State today." I said, "Dad, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the chance to check them out again. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch them, because my dad, popped into a couple of games, checked them out." I said, "Oh,
he's a player himself.
Football player, oldest in our family, raised all those Mabens you see on TV doing their thing. They're all been made responsible from my dad.
Quarterback,
yeah.
And I say quarterback because I think they have a different mind.
Yes.
You watch game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, magna cum laude. My dad's a very accomplished man.
Yep.
Makes me feel like crap sometimes.
Well, you did nothing.
But how about that?
Yeah.
I just talk junk. So here's the thing. My dad says, I'm going to watch that game. He's like, yeah, I get to see that little Georgia quarterback he was telling me about, blah, blah, again. So the text message my dad sent me on Sunday morning, I'll paraphrase because my dad, his language is colorful, even in text. Man, that was an awesome game. Man, that bleeping running back, I love that kid. That bleep quarterback, man, he was getting tough, man. He was looking down. He was trying. I seen him trying to hit those throws, man, and he was making those reads. And like my dad sent me, and this is old man's texting too. Full, oh man. And at the end of all this, this was good, and that was good, and that was good. At the end of his text message, he said, "I know y'all proud of him. I know y'all proud of the way them boys fought." Had to call my dad.
And hear me and you pouting the night before.
I had to call my dad and say, "Daddy, they want everybody, including the players, out of this town." Right? Like I had to explain to him that there is absolutely no appreciation for the game that was just played. Like I said, my dad, complete outsider. Watches Georgia, watches Appalachian State, doing their thing. That's who he watches on a regular basis, and said, "Your job got to be easy because I know they proud of how them boys played."
Yeah.
No, Dad, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was depressing.
That was.
But it gave you perspective.
It does give you perspective.
We're gonna take a break at the top of the hour.
Yeah, we've already went over.
Yes.
There's a lot. There's just so much. I mean, we could stay on the air for 5 hours.
This is going to be a short break, people. Don't go anywhere. You can go to We Are Made for the Ville on YouTube channel. I might leave it running during the break. Give me about a minute off air, and I'll get it back rolling again.
Well, and there's a phrase I keep hearing. That's my opinion.
You want to hold it?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to hold it, but there's a phrase I keep hearing from people, and I do want to just clear this up. So, yeah.
I'm very intrigued. Make sure this is a really short break.
Yeah.
8150-939 is the number. 3831. 939 is the text line. We Are Made for the Ville is the YouTube channel. 939 the Ville.
Are you ready to sell your home? Well, there couldn't be a better time. Houses are going for top dollar and selling quickly. You need to call Jill Blessinger with Keller Williams. She has a team of professionals that will help you sell your home quickly and get the most for it. She is a professional home stager and photographer. And when you're ready to buy, she works with Becky Bleemel of Caliber Home Loans. She makes the loan process very simple. And if you mention you heard this on Middays with Marcus Maven or ESPN, your appraisal is absolutely free. So give Jill a call today at 502-773-0546. That's 502-773-0546. And let her help you today.
Hey, Card Nation and everyone else in the Ville. When the Cards win this football season, you win with Penn Station. All day, every Tuesday following a Cardinal gridiron win, Penn Station will offer up any 6-inch sub for just $3.99. Cardinal victories are already pretty tasty, and now 6-inch Penn Station subs are just $3.99 all day, Tuesday following a Cardinals victory. Download and order from your Penn Station app using promo code UL399. Offer good at 15 Louisville Penn Station locations plus Shelbyville, Bardstown, E-Town, Radcliffe, and Shepherdville.
I'm Dr. Mark Waldman with the Parsley Waldman Hair Center, and I'm back to talk about hair transplants. Right now, people are coming in, they're saying, I'm taking pictures out in the summer and I'm seeing that I'm bald and I didn't realize it, or my hair's getting wet, I'm swimming, and then when my hair's wet, I notice that I'm balder than I realized, or my wife is telling me losing hair. I mean, it's such a gradual process. They may not have noticed it last summer, but now they're noticing it this summer because it's getting worse. A lot of guys say, well, I see a reflection off the flash of the camera when I take a picture. They say, what can be done? And the first thing I always recommend is working on the areas that are bothering them. But a lot of times it's that frontal scalp. We can reframe the face and then start building density behind that. That really can change the way people look. There are people who they're just not sure. They're not sure if they're good candidates because it's hard to really know if you're a good candidate or not. I would say the best thing to do is, if you're not sure, is just let us take a look at you and let us decide whether or not you're a good candidate. And if you're a good candidate, what can we do reasonably for you? To set up an appointment, visit hairsurgery.com. That's hairsurgery.com.
So, Steve, what do you think about Bill at Scorns & Sons Collision Centers, man?
Let me just say, I had a friend who totally ruined his car. They got him taken care of quick, efficiently, and out the door.
Family owned and operated for over 70 years, Ed Scorns is the leader in auto repair technology and technician training. Do not let just anyone repair your vehicle. It's your choice. Tell your insurance company you're taking your vehicle to Bill at Scorns & Sons Collision Centers. There are 2 locations, Bardstown Road and Shelbyville Road in Middletown. Or call us at 491-BODY or visit us at etscorns.com. That's ETSCORNS.com.
If your heating and cooling system is old, inefficient, and on the fritz, believe it or not, you could be in luck. Now is the perfect time to replace and upgrade your system with your local factory-authorized Bryant dealer, BJ Heating and Cooling. BJ Heating and Cooling is offering 0% financing with approved credit on all Bryant equipment installs. Whatever it takes, BJ Heating and Cooling offers free estimates on installing heat pumps, furnaces, ACs, and mini splits. Call the experts you can trust at BJ Heating and Cooling or visit bjheatcool.com today.
What good is it having that beautiful view on your front and backyard if you can't see through your old grimy windows? Or how about when you let a little fresh air and your windows are constantly getting stuck? If this sounds like your current situation, it's time to make that call to Windows Plus. They have the best free lifetime transferable warranty, the best installation in town, quality products, doors, windows, siding, and gutters. They've also been voted the most efficient for 2018 and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and all 5-star reviews, which means these are exactly the new windows you've been looking for. So go visit them at 11501 Plantside Drive, Louisville, Kentucky, or 502-494-0120. That's Windows Plus. Make the call.
At Woodbridge Winery, our philosophy is life is measured in moments, make the most of them. That's what guides us every day. Robert Mondavi founded Woodbridge in 1979 to make light, smooth, easy drinking wines that bring people together. Great California wines made for everyday enjoyment. They're delicious on their own or with a variety of foods. And with 13 bright, fruit-forward flavors, there's a Woodbridge wine to share with everyone at your table. Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi, making moments.
Hey, Marcus. Nothing adamant, and it can be to end the show if we want to do it at the very end, but we just got to.
Place for you. Globe Auto Center.
Hey, did he text y'all last night about the game?
share a connection to the community, we use the finest ingredients and best practices to honor our history and build upon it. Louisville made, brewer owned. Find Great Flood 6-packs at your local retailers throughout the city. Learn more and follow our journey at greatfloodbrewing.com.
Want to be part of the show? Hit us up on the Fan Outfitters Twitter feed at 939 The Ville.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the open.
It's non-copyright, don't worry.
Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville is broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services studio. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. When we went to break, Steve said there was a narrative that he...
Well, a phrase.
There was a phrase he didn't like. But
let me say something real quick before we go to the phone lines. We're at Louisville Live. I just talked off my chest.
Is this the phrase?
No, this isn't the phrase. We'll get to that in a few, because that's going to get real serious.
Okay.
Like real serious talk where we got total line and
Right.
stuff. They pulled, WLKY pulled my wife aside and put her on the air on Friday night.
Saw that.
Yeah. I was very happy to see what they edited and the clip that they put. I thought she sounded knowledgeable.
You were worried at first?
Well, let me tell you why I was worried. They asked my wife. Now, my wife is known as Steve Rummage's wife. Steve Rummage can talk.
Oh, easy.
You know. Well, I mean,
Total line.
Well, no, I mean, I'm a media guy. I feel like,
She's
I mean, we're not
a famous nurse.
Media guys, but she, they asked her, so what are you most excited about with Coach Mack? And she said, watching him coach. I almost was like an agent. I almost went over there and grabbed her.
Whispering in her ear.
And no, I just grabbed her and said, "Hey, I'm pulling her. I'm pulling her.
Interview's over.
We're done. We're done here. You air that, I'll sue every one of you. I'll sue the whole station."
What didn't you like about her response?
That just made no sense. I don't know. She even told me, she said, I froze. I don't know what to say. She's like, just watching the coach. That's the best you come up with?
Your husband is presenting himself as an expert on Louisville sports on a daily basis.
And watching him coach is what you came up with? So luckily they they edited a part where it sounded much better. Her answer was,
Steve, you got nobody to blame but yourself.
I know.
Listen, you make it awkward. I'm going to not make this awkward, but I'm just going to say this. We're going to move along to the phone lines.
Mm-hmm.
The worst moments in the world when I have dinner with you and your lovely wife is when I say, "Oh, yeah, and then it was funny when Steve did this," and she goes, "Why didn't you tell me that, Steve?"
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine how terrible I feel? And it's something like listen, Steve might have done something awesome and got a caller, tricked the caller into doing something, just something awesome, had an epic rant, and just something that every man in America, what do you get married for if you can't tell your wife how you dominated the show today? And I say, hey, when Steve just dominated like 10 minutes of the show against this and this and that, and Cherry's like, "Oh, no, he didn't tell me about that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me? It's your fault, Steve.
Yeah.
Own it.
I know.
Talk to your wife more.
Fair enough. Just wanted to get that off my chest.
Cody, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
What's happening, fellas?
Chilling.
Man, I wanted to talk about the game. Obviously, the play calling, everybody's a little suspect on that with the pass. But, I mean, I always look at it a different perspective. If they do run, kick the field goal, look at how pathetic the defensive tackling and everything was on that score. I mean, that's just stuff that's just been going on for a while He still can't even teach people how to
Wait a
tackle.
minute. Come on. Wait. The entire game, their tackling was awesome. Would you agree?
I'd agree. Yeah, the game was. I mean, they did good tackling for that game.
So you see why I get uncomfortable with you saying that's just been going on. Like the last 2 games, the defense has been good.
I mean, I wouldn't say 2 games. They were good last week. They weren't good against Virginia. You can't let Virginia score 27 points against you.
If you keep
It's
going,
Virginia.
If you keep going 3 and outs the whole time, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. I'm watching that. That was pathetic, man. I haven't seen anything that bad tackling wise. I mean, from anybody at this level of football in a while.
You are talking about the last possession, just so we're clear.
Yeah, just the last possession. That was just something that was just. I mean, that was awful. God awful in my mind. And the last thing, I couldn't get a hold of Diener this morning. Drew Diener, he wouldn't play it. But since I'm going to be out of town next week, I just want to let everybody know that Mel is going to curb stomp St. X next week in football. See y'all.
Appreciate the call.
They've been doing that to everybody, I think.
Right.
Mel's been whooping everybody.
Listen, I got no problem with full criticism, but I got a problem when it's not fair criticism.
Yeah, I didn't disagree. Or I didn't agree with a lot of that. I don't think tackling's been bad, and I don't think they were all that bad against Virginia. But I do agree with him that Mel is going to
curse everybody. Lawrence, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Lawrence?
You know something? For 4 quarters, we saw the old Bobby Trino feeding the running back, feeding the tight ends, hitting wide receivers on crossing routes. Everything was going right. But just those 10 seconds on that play call, we saw the ego diva Bobby Trino.
But wasn't that 1.0 Bobby though? The guy that would go for it on 1st and 5 to ice the game, or like do something kind of risky. Lawrence, 2 weeks ago you said you want to see some trick plays or some creativity. That was creative. I mean, the results suck, but it was creative.
Yeah, but the play before that was creative, but he let his ego and his diva mentality get in the way of doing the right thing. And the right thing was to run that ball.
No, Lawrence, listen, I appreciate the call. I agree with you. Listen, I agree with you. I agree with everyone who says he should have ran the ball more. Because I spent the whole game, even when they were going through the successful plays, listen, Steve was ready to punch me half the time. Because when I saw the way Hassan Hall was running that football, I'm like, why not take today to, you made this point, Steve, good running defense. You were winning the run game.
Oh, yeah.
But I felt like Coach Petrino was running the ball so well, he saw that as an opportunity to that Juwan pass. Now it loosened up for him. Now I can work on his passing.
Well, and heck, he was killing them downfield.
And he was killing them.
And let's not and take away. Don't just say, yeah, but Stevie did miss those passes. I'm not even talking about those passes. I mean, who all? Devontae Pete had big gain. Tutu Atwell had big gain. You know, Jalen Smith had a big gain. Yeah, I mean, like, you could go down the list of, you still were beating them downfield.
Everybody who was catching, when they caught the ball, you didn't think about that. You didn't have the drops we've been getting.
Right.
You didn't have the penalties we've been getting, the offensive penalties we've been getting. You didn't have the broken tackles. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, it's the 30. It's the 1/3 rule. 30% of y'all never want him here the first time. 30% will never want him to leave because your allegiance. We're talking to the middle 30, right?
Because I think that's where we are.
And the other and listen, the other 10 is media. So whatever, you have to deal with what they want to happen.
They just hate everything.
Yeah, right. Because it makes for good
story.
It makes for good media. That's the 10% we'll leave out. But the 30% in the middle, the question is, how do you feel about progress versus you've had enough time, you know what I'm saying, to be better?
Yeah.
Are you okay with some years being better, some years not being good? Are you okay with the risk of a rebuild? Are you okay with, do you like consistency? You know, the 30% we have to decide, is the product on the field good or not? You know, is it getting better, or you saying it's not going to get any better?
Well, because here's the deal. This is what I was going to say.
Okay.
There's a phrase that, and because it kind of ties into where you were talking there.
Mhm.
And this is going to could get uncomfortable. Not so much uncomfortable to me, but I am going to watch how I word this.
Right. I'll save it.
Because I love Rocco and those guys, and I don't want to cause anybody any more work or any trouble.
We love everybody.
So I'm going to say right now, so that way, take it however you want it. But I'm on record saying this is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, whether it's a really good opinion or whatever, it's an opinion.
It's yours.
I keep hearing people say, well, whoever the next guy is, there's no whoever. It's Bobby or it's Brom. Period. So let me, in my opinion, clearing that up.
If you're on YouTube, people, he's air quote, he's the most entertaining radio host. You should go to YouTube.
Stop thinking any other name in your mind, because you're wrong. It's either, when you're comparing, and I'm not saying this is a bad comparison, I'm not saying, but when you're comparing, it's Bobby or it's Brom. So I'm just saying, I would compare everything to that.
Can I add a little more to that?
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing.
Can I add a little more to that?
I would love for you to. Please.
Just get you off this.
Now I get nervous.
Yeah, everybody's all quiet.
I know.
The studio's quiet. People, you can hear a pin drop through this whole studio.
Right.
So here's the thing. Furthermore, past your Bobby or Brom thing, we, in particular, because everyone wants to be binary, everyone wants to get a quote on record. Everybody wants to get a comment that says, I'm for Rick or Mac.
Right.
I'm for Tom or Vince. I'm for Bobby or, you know what I'm saying?
Vince done good.
Right. Bobby or Jeff, right? Everybody wants to get you on a hard stance.
Yeah.
And I say it, and you'll understand this a little later on, people, when you start looking at it through the prism of, it doesn't have to be binary. When I say a Bobby Brom comparison, I say, is he $14 million payout better? Maybe he is a better coach. Now, you at home who says, well, we don't have money to do this, but we have money for this, then you have to realize this is emotion, and you're trying to pick a side. You don't have to do that. You don't have to say, Marcus, if you think Brom would do a good job, then why don't you want Bobby fired? Because I think they both can do a good job. I think they both have unlimited potential. I know people get uncomfortable or they use the sport to say fresh and hyper and excited, and they want to brag about their football team, and they hate the office guy and the dude. I will do anything in the world not to listen to UK fans in the office all day. So get me anybody. It's emotional. And it's binary. Because you'll do anything to stop your coworker from running his mouth. And to do that, you get on the radio and yell, and you get on Twitter and yell, right?
Yes.
You forgot about the 14 million. You forgot about the product on the field getting better. All you know is you're concerned with the end of the season schedule. Just like in the past, you don't care about Lamar Jackson winning the Heisman Trophy because you lost to Kentucky. You don't care about the success Bobby Petrino has had because the loss to Houston, the couple of losses. You're willing to sacrifice a good job performance-wise that you would never do in any other aspect of your life. If you were the top 2 and top 3 salesman for 8 years straight. And then 1 year, you came in at number 5 out of 10 salesmen. If somebody gave you a pink slip or you heard the whole office saying, you just ain't got it no more, you were number 5 this year, you'd say, I've been top 3 every year since I worked here. I'm 5 this year. I had a bad year. I had a baby. I had to help my wife out. She needed some extra stuff, and I had, I fell off for a year. But listen, I got this many contacts, and I got this many people set up for this year, and you know what they say? Nah, we got some sales guy from across town who had one good year, and he's not really doing good this year, but last year he was kind of getting good. But I mean, even though his record's not great, like see what that sounds like?
Yeah,
sounds like me saying Bobby over Braun.
Yes,
because people's brains are trained to force you into a binary decision, ones and zeros. It's not ones and zeros. Sorry for preaching, Steve.
It's fair.
Keith, thanks for joining us
Hey.
on 9 through 9. Fire away.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, I have 2 points. First one about a quote, and second one I want to talk about Puma. First, as a quote, his post game, Bobby's post game, his comments were kind of odd. He made a comment that I wanted to run the ball, but I made a bad call. So how do you want to run the ball and then make a bad call? I think that Puma took it upon himself. We saw that blitz audible, and maybe Bobby made a bad call by not calling a timeout and stopping it. But I don't. When he starts it off with, I wanted to run the ball, and he's not going to throw Puma under the bus because he doesn't do that. So that's one question I have, because that changes the narrative a whole lot.
Sure, and real quick, I won't cut you off. I want to get to your point
no, you're
about
good.
Puma as well. I don't dismiss that totally. I do think
There's no way in my mind I think that Puma changed it on his own.
No, but I don't know. And I will say this, but that is one of those things that we'll never know.
Yeah.
Because Bobby
No, we
would
won't.
never let that be said. So I don't totally dismiss that. Oh, do I think that was probably the case? No, but I don't totally dismiss it.
Maybe it broke up play. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. But the way he made that comment was kind of odd. Then as far as Puma, guys, and I'm guilty of this too, and I think everybody is. And a buddy of mine was just tearing Puma up after the game, and I thought about it and I said, we're treating this guy unfairly. We're judging him against Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson, 2 elite quarterbacks that were, they're both cerebral, but freaking Teddy was off the charts. And then we've got Lamar, whose athleticism just, kills people. I mean, he can run like crazy. Well, the simple fact is Puma's going to take time.
Yeah.
I mean, he made some progress during that game. That first half, we play other teams like Boston College, Wake Forest, and probably Georgia Tech, like we played in the first half, we're probably going to win if we can just do that. And his accuracy is going to get better as he gains confidence and gets a little more game time experience. I think we need to just back up away from Puma and give him when we came into the season, 2 things we talked about: defense, going to need to mature. They're young, and we have a new quarterback.
Right.
And we expected him, and Bobby kind of did it by making a comment that they're going to be better or as equal to last year on offense with Puma in there, and that was probably unfair. It's kind of like Rick used to do to players all the time, and then they'd come out there and we'd expect them to be the top, and that's just not fair. So we need to back up and give Puma some time to mature, and I think we're going to be all right.
No, listen, I appreciate the call, Keith. I thought, again, the comparisons, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We're okay with it.
And I started it right off the bat saying, hey, I was aggravated with him too Saturday.
We thought Puma pass was farther along in his development. We've seen growth from game 1 Puma pass to this game. When we talk about Puma pass getting confidence.
Yeah.
You know how you do that, Steve? When you have a chance to ice the game on first down, you throw a hitch out to Jalen Smith. He catches it.
Mm-hmm.
We go kneel.
Mm-hmm.
End of discussion.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Puma, that can't happen.
I know.
Right?
I
But
know.
but the difference is development versus win now.
Yeah.
Every game we want to win now. We want to win now. Bobby has got to develop this guy to be a winner. And I'm sorry, that's just a little different from win now. Now, granted, you got to get wins before while you're developing.
Yeah, but every quarterback, I mean, what was the one thing? Okay, I'll say this. There was a lot, now that he's gone, I feel like we can open up a little bit more. There was one thing that I think was that cost Louisville a little bit and helped Louisville majorly over the last 3 years was Lamar's biggest thing, and this isn't just from watching, this is from talking around. A lot of times Lamar just thought he was, and not in an arrogant way. I mean this good. And Lamar, man, he was a great teammate. Nobody will talk bad about him. But a lot of times he just thought, I'm the best player on the field. I'll make the play. It's on me to make the play. I'm the quarterback. I'm the Heisman guy here. These guys are looking to me to make a play. It's on me to make a play. So, yes, the hole's there, but I'm not giving you that ball. I'm going to go make this play. And a lot of times he didn't. A lot of times he did. A quarterback is wired to think.
Yeah, that's a trait of great performers.
Puma's wired to think, hey, we just hit that crossing route on third down. Okay?
I'm running.
Boom. No. I'm going to hit this pass play. Hey, made a bad play. You know?
Made a bad
play. He made a bad play.
He made 25 good ones.
Yeah.
Bad play. Does Bobby make that call next week?
No.
He runs it?
Yes.
Dan,
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away, my man.
Hey, guys, last caller, what he said about that statement about Bobby, I've thought that ever since he made it. I guess we can file that under the devil made me do it file. I have no idea,
Yeah.
It's like, I wanted to run the ball to win the game, but I made a bad decision. It's like, I can't get a hold of that. I just can't really get a hold of it. But that's not the reason that I called. I wasn't going to call at all because I really can't add a whole lot to what other people have said about, the state of our football program. But this is for Steve. Steve, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Steve, I love you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
He knows.
You're ready. Okay. Grab a table and brace yourself.
Okay.
Brother.
All right.
You made a statement a little while ago
Yeah.
that it's Bobby or Brom.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say a couple things here. Do you honestly think that Brom is the best guy out there? And he may be. I'm not saying he's not.
Right.
But if you put Brom up against, let's say, Brent Venable, okay, and I'm just saying he's a good coach. He's out there. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Do the fans start screaming for Brian Brom simply because he is one of ours? Now, that is something that I think we need to stay away from. We need to grow up a little bit, and we need to get the best guy out there, not simply because he is one of ours. To me, that is a big blue stay in your holler attitude, and I'm going to nip it in the bud, brother. Do not spread that because we need the best guy out there. Now, I don't mean to step on your toes or on your parade or anything.
Absolutely.
But that just went right through me when you said that.
Right. But I will say this, and Dan, I appreciate it, man. I will say this. Dan, I hear you. I'm going to say this without getting in trouble in the politest way
Nobody's
possible.
in trouble. See, we do what we want to do.
If Bobby, y'all know I love y'all. Y'all know I love this fan base. Y'all know that I got into radio to be a voice in this fan base. I'm not saying I think Brom's the best hire. Stay with me, guys.
What if this show just cut off all of a sudden?
In my opinion, just follow me, guys. Just follow me here, okay?
You got to say it again, Steve.
Quotes, in my opinion, if Bobby's not the coach here next year, Jeff Brom will be. I'm not telling you he's the best hire. I'm telling you, if Bobby's not the coach, Jeff Brom will be. So, Dan, I don't disagree with what Dan's saying. I don't know that I think he's the best hire.
There's a million resumes that are better. There's a million.
But what I'm telling you is, in my opinion, if Bobby's not the coach here next year, Jeff Brom will be.
So
whether he's the best coach or not.
Keep in mind, people, we are under the like this. We're media. So can you imagine when we say Bobby should keep the job? How many people are saying, how many people we're arguing with who just want Brom to be the coach on a daily basis? We're arguing sports. People are arguing for who they want to be the coach.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because of the results on the field.
But that's why that's why I've always wanted to be in radio. Because I love this fan base so much that I want to be able to be a guy that says, hey, don't even waste your time arguing about that. Let's not argue about it. When now we have a voice that we can say, in our opinion, listen to us. Do you remember when
I've been wrong about two things in my life: David Padgett and Honest Mahmoud.
Yeah, but do you also remember when a couple guys told you it's gonna be Chris Mack? It's gonna be Chris Mack. Yeah.
Oh, why are we talking about? Yeah, no.
I mean, we can talk Shaka. We'll talk Shaka for you guys, but it's gonna be Chris Mack, which I loved that hire. Now let me say, I had no reservations on that one. I was like, that's hands down.
But we also didn't. We knew we would love it because the United States of America confirmed that would be the best hire. Like even we knew that we weren't in a fishbowl making those things. Like I said, given time, most of the time we've been proven right because we talk about these things and we work these things out for you. We do the math for you, so you don't have to. We're the calculators of the sports world.
And look, and I'm a Louisville guy. I'm going to support whoever's the coach here. So I'm not saying no. I'm not saying
until Chris until Chris Mack loses to Tennessee.
Yeah, but we rode with David Padgett dang near all the way until he finally once he was eliminated from tournament contention. We were like, okay, yeah, you got to go. Got to go. Yeah,
you gotta go. But listen. I give everybody a chance to do their job because I respect people's everyday jobs.
Yes, and I have my reservations.
Tino, thanks for joining us. Where you been at, man?
Man, I've been here and there and everywhere. Man, these people want haircuts these days, Mark.
They want look. The haircuts will always be in demand.
That's right, man. They think they can get a hairline like mine, but they ain't really got that hairline. Hey, anyway, I'm at 30% that's in the middle, man.
Okay.
I'm in the middle, but it's looking like it's time for a change, man. It's looking like it's time for a change.
Elaborate.
And the reason why, because you're an offensive coach, and we're struggling with the offense. You know what I'm saying? If we was a defensive coach and we struggling with the defense, cool. If he was scoring a bunch of points and we losing, cool. But it's trending the other way, man. And I hate to say it, Bobby. I ain't saying he's lost it, but right now he's losing it. Right now, he's losing it. Come on, Marcus. Y'all know you got to.
Tina,
run an RPO. If you want Puma to get confidence, run an RPO.
Look,
let him run it.
Look, when you're watching that second half, right? Mm-hmm. And you watch Puma pass sit in there, take that hit, throw it a little outside the fingertips when he's wide open. How many times did you yell at Puma pass for not completing that during that second half?
I didn't yell at him. I was like, God. But I didn't.
Did you say that was a bad play call?
No, I didn't say that.
I didn't.
Oh, you said something. I mean, what? Listen.
No, I just said, dang it. That's all I said.
You said,
I mean,
so you didn't
listen.
say it was there. We had him. We almost had him.
Yeah.
It was there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that is trending, saying he's calling the right plays, right?
But I'm not counting it up as a missed play call. I'm talking about management. That's missed game management. You have to run the ball and manage the clock.
No, I mean I agree. It was bad.
It was
It was bad. It
Your
was
play
bad.
was bad, but
I mean,
bad
the
call.
play was that's mismanagement. When you calling them play, he called a good game. I think he called a good game.
Thank you.
But when it got tight and we needed to manage the clock and manage the game, we didn't manage it right. That's it.
Listen,
and you have to be a game manager as a coach with a freshman, not a freshman, but a young quarterback. You can't put it in his hands.
Let me ask you this: Is this any different from when he had Dave Ragone or something? Right? Is he calling plays any different? Like as far as the aggression level, isn't his aggression level still the same on the play calling?
Yeah,
but just the only difference is this time his quarterback's not making the plays.
Exactly, and you can't call those plays with that. If Puma Pass had been starting the whole year, and he's had success, maybe you give it a chance. But he wasn't even the starter last week. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He wasn't the starter last week. You can't have you have to manage him. If he's been the starter the whole time, and he's made, and he's probably missed a couple of those plays during the game in a different game in them type of situations, you can assess it better. You know what I'm saying? You can assess it better. But if he wasn't starting last week, and you had to pull him, you can't call that play. You can't call it. You have to run the ball and manage him. You have to stroke that guy. Bobby, you a quarterback guru. Stroke him. You know what I'm saying? He said at the beginning of the year, he got the freedom to call what we call. So you have to manage him. He said it. And to me, that's mismanagement. And after every press conference, after every loss, he's done made a mess up that not necessarily cost us a game, but didn't help us. And he's apologized for it. We can't have that every game.
No, listen. We don't disagree. I appreciate the call. We don't disagree with the royal mess ups. But again, okay, Texter says, if you say a bad word on air, do they just give you a pass because of all the times you didn't? Yes. I'm that good. And if they fire me, then guess what I'd get? Marcus, we heard you got fired. Come on up.
Mm-hmm.
Come on over. That's what happens. That's what happens. Like I said, you can be angry, but you know I'm right here. You know I'm right in the big scheme of things. Listen, I thought they'd be better. That was wrong. My timing was wrong, but not, the ability to coach a team.
Right.
Yes. A bad word, not in my career.
Yeah. Hey, and look, maybe this game, maybe the first half of the season ends up costing Bobby's job.
And he knows that when he makes the call.
Yeah,
it's okay to say it's okay to say you took risks, you took chances, you've always took chances. He's used to the criticism. He says that last week. You got to be able to take the criticism. Some of it's true. You got to take the criticism without being salty about it.
Yeah.
That was the theme of his press conference. When you make mistakes and when you're not playing good, you got to take the criticism, own it, go through what's right and what's wrong, and move forward.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly. Texter says, Bobby is a good parent. The baby just fell off the bed. It happens.
Yeah, but that can also be a devastating mistake.
Right? No, listen. I'm totally okay with that. It's funny. I thought the texter was going with the parenting thing, because when your kids mess up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You have more riding on it than Bobby does.
Right.
But when your kids mess up, no parent has ever went to jail because the kid's just messing up, and it doesn't mean you're just a horrible parent.
Sure.
You can lose your kids to influence out there.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens going forward. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be something to watch. We'll see.
Are you comfortable with your Brom comparisons or your statements?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I'm just telling you. I
was wondering why you were so touchy about that.
I feel like, in my opinion, that's who you need. Anytime you're angry with Bobby, compare it to that. That's all I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There are a lot of positives I think that he can bring. Okay, let me ask you this. Can you imagine if you, okay, Marcus, you're a fan of a fan base. There's a player that used to be a quarterback at your school.
You're ready, B. Hall.
There's a player that used to be a quarterback at your school. A really good quarterback. And he's coaching a team. And you feel like you're not happy with the coach you have. And he's coaching a team, and they are busting everybody. They're a mid-major. They go undefeated. They go to a bowl game against a big-time team, and they bust that team. And you go, that's the guy. He's going to come back, and we're going to win a bunch of games because he's got it rolling. Then you're 0-4. You're a Nebraska fan. You're a Nebraska fan. Scott Frost was the guy.
The can't miss out of where?
UCF.
National championship winning UCF. Mid-major. Florida boys, dominant team, take it to anybody. We want Bama, Florida.
Yeah. You're 0-4. Now, can he get it together? Sure. Did Brom go bust him? Yeah. But you know who Brom lost to? The coach at Nebraska last year. It went 4-8. So, I'm just saying.
And it's not binary. Good Bobby does not mean bad Brom.
Absolutely
good
not.
Good Brom does not mean bad Bobby.
Absolutely not. I agree.
Globe Auto, we love them.
Yeah, so I changed it up this week.
Thank you, Brian.
Since there was a complaint on the complaint line about it last week. So, yes, this is our Round the Globe with Globe Auto Sales at 5705 Bargetown Road, 502-708-2886, or at globeautosonline.com. And that is where you will find a sweet inventory of about 50 cars. You can find it out in Fern Creek as well. If he doesn't have what you like, he'll find it, though. Be sure to get out there and visit Kenny and the guys at Globe Auto Sales. But this is Around the Globe, and we're going to check out the top 25 scoreboard real quick with a couple close games. I wanted to kick from the ACC. Syracuse gave Clemson a good scare to this weekend, 23-27. And at one point, I thought Syracuse had this game. Some of your all's thoughts on that game, guys? Clemson barely edging out Syracuse.
Listen, maybe that Syracuse team isn't so bad.
No, they're not.
And that game had me dreaming. I was like, man, we come out and win today.
You jinxed it when you started sitting in the box talking about that.
Yep, you did. Anyways, we'll move on. Number 12, West Virginia knocks off number 25, Texas Tech, 42-34 in a shootout.
Yeah. Good for West Virginia.
Yep. And then here, yeah, right. It's like, what do you want to say? Because I don't like them. I don't like them.
I know, yeah.
I don't like West Virginia.
I'm so happy for you.
Great.
Here's one that's kind of convenient for us, though, and it's Florida, Mississippi State. Florida knocks off number 23, Mississippi State, 13-6.
Yeah.
Those are both teams that Kentucky beat. But Kentucky, Florida knocked off Mississippi State at Mississippi State.
Well, they're both not very good.
It's the SEC.
So.
It's the battle of the SEC.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's a top 25 ACC matchup.
All right, here we go.
Virginia Tech, 31, knocks off Duke, 14. 31-14, number 22 Duke goes down.
Can you imagine being a Virginia Tech fan and losing to Old Dominion?
You know?
Let that sink in for a second.
Let this sink in, too.
Okay.
Duke at number 22 in football.
Duke at 22 in football. And what? They got ran, right? Yeah.
31-14. Sounds about right.
Yeah, they got ran.
Sounds about right.
All right, I was just making sure we're all
We got a couple more games here that I want to get to before we get out of here. Number 7, Stanford versus number 8, Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, Stanford goes down 38-17.
Boy, they already Notre Dame's in the playoff.
Oh,
you know the national media.
Hands
They're all
down.
about it. They're all about it.
They're in already. It's like perfect.
Jeez. All right, well, one other team that could be in the playoff is Washington, just because they're in the Pac-12, and they knocked off number 20 BYU.
Yeah.
35-7 over the
Awesome
weekend.
money on that game. Thank you.
No problem. I
BYU.
just wanted to rub it in for you. I just wanted to make
spread.
sure that you understood.
17.5 point spread.
Yep. Another Pac-12 battle was number 19 Oregon topping number 24 Cal, 42-24. It's the Pac-12 is the Pac-12, and I'm like
the Pac-12. None of them can compete with
are
the
we
SEC.
going to admit
top 25 anyway?
Are we going to admit Lamar Jackson was a better passer than we thought?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Got any?
I heard that they want to try to play receiver. I got two more for you. I got
Okay.
two more. Number 4 Ohio State beats number 9 Penn State 27-26.
That was an awesome game.
That was the best game of the weekend.
And can you imagine if your coach on 4th and whatever it was ran a draw?
Right?
Yeah.
Like
in a top 10 battle.
Like Louisville is the only coach that makes mistakes. Louisville has the only coach.
And then he tried to fight a fan on the way out.
Right?
Right.
Golly.
Right? Like the standards, Steve.
Yeah, I think that puts Ohio State into the playoff as well, speaking of playoffs.
Right.
Sure.
6 games.
All right, so the last one, let's start this off the same way with that. We're going to finish this the same way we started. I'm sorry, let me reword that. Cowboys 26, Lions 24.
Awesome.
Sorry, Marcus, just had to throw it in there. Just had to
Big
do
W.
it. Sorry, it's a big W for the Cowboys.
Big W for the boys.
My Lions look better, man.
Big
I
W
feel
for
the
the
pain,
boys.
man. The Vikings are struggling right now.
It's a big W
My boys
for the
look
boys.
But that'll do it.
Wait a minute.
for,
Wait.
So that's anything
wait.
important to happen.
I want to keep this inside the Globe sports report. You did have a little snicker when you saw Jalen get put that little stick on Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah. Jalen played good. It was a good day all around.
You
Hey,
did
he
have
had 2 tackles, man.
Listen,
Solid
he
performance.
actually ranked in the the top 5 defensive efficiency on the team. Now listen, I snickered a little bit. Go ahead and get your little tattoo on Zeke.
He did good.
There we
he
go.
did good.
All
It
right,
was
so
good,
that's
man.
a good way to end it.
No, it's good.
So that'd be Globe Auto Sales. Globe Autos online. You visit them at 5705 Bardstown Road or at 502-708-2886. Globe's Autos online.
And here's the thing.
Globe Autos online.
Perfect. And Globe Auto only messes around with things that matter, and that's why we only put scores in the Globe Auto around the world, around the globe that matter. Brian hit every one of them that matter.
Make sure you leave your good reviews for your good experiences when you go to Globe Auto too. Like I said, if they take care of you, if they point you in the right direction, even if they don't sell you a car, if your treatment is good, if your experience is good, go ahead and give them
It's the most hassle-free car buying experience I had, man. I literally walked around the lot, got to look at whatever I wanted. They didn't bother me unless I had questions. It was perfect.
Awesome. Go ahead and play us out. Steve, did we accomplish anything?
We could go another 2 hours and have a whole nother show about something else.
In the middle 30% of the world, I hope they're rational. Listen, I'm mad too. I want to win all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to talk about my experience up there with Griffin LeBradford judging the dunk contest at my university.
Well, and Friday in general, the fans were awesome. They were awesome.
That was awesome. We didn't even get to talk about it.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I'm going to talk more football tomorrow.
I'm going to talk plenty more football tomorrow.
That was awesome, man. This was an awesome weekend. Bobby, you still got a chance, man. You got a chance to show people what you're good at. I'm okay with that. They not quitting on them.
I know.
They're
the players
not quitting on them.
The players aren't quitting on each other. So you know what? Regardless of what coaching hire, this and that, all that talk, I'm not doing it. I'm going to the game Friday night. I'm going to be in the media section wearing black because it's a blackout. And
I'll do it on accident. I'll say, oh,
I won't. I'm gonna have black hat, black shirt. I'm black out.
Black Panther Steve.
Yeah.
8150.
Steve's blacking out Friday. Everybody heard it here.
Is always the number. 3831 93.9 is always the text line. We are made for the Ville is the YouTube channel. People, it's getting funner and funner. The production value is increasing. I don't forget name. Jill Blessing or Becky Bleeman. Windows Plus. at Scorings and Sons Collision Center. Globe Auto, of course. Middays with Marcus Maven on 939 The Ville.